what are some practical best practice solutions that our audience can think about in terms of recruiting talented, diverse faculty and staff, and actually hiring them, and then once they get there, keeping them? Because the data also shows that while there's increasing numbers of minorities who are on the contingent track, those who are on a tenure track have, really bad attrition rates. So what are some practical things that these folks in the audience can think about as they do their jobs?
One of the practical things I would just say is I would ask people on your campus, who's on the trustees? What does that look like? Is it always going to look like that? And if that changes up some, then will there be someone in that room and in that space to address these issues, right? Because I think often, we think that, there's no hierarchy, right? And so it's just, the trustees are the people that run these places. And, even generationally, right? If there are no trustees under the age of 50, I'd say, someone needs to ask why. And when's that going to be different?
So I think there's a lot of difficulty because, especially when we're talking about hiring and then the next step. So if diversity, if a diverse faculty, diversity in terms of administration is successfully secured, often that's, again, the end point. And clearly knowing the way that departments operate in many places, there's often a disconnect at that point with HR, with others who have been instrumental in terms of the hiring process. And so then questions about, well, what are you doing in terms of retention? What are you doing in terms of mentoring? Or are you just like, hey, they're just a faculty member, sink or swim? As if, one, that's a good approach for anyone, and two, as if everyone is going to have the same experience. And I think that's a fundamental issue and a fundamental problem that we all need to advocate against, and in terms of the differential expectations that faculty have, and it's how it's stratified along race and gender lines. Service demands. What effects does that have on retention, on hiring, on tenure? Who's asked to sit on every committee? Who is asked to work with every student group? And who is sitting in their lab, doing their next NIH grant? And then when we get into the room, it's like, well, hey, why does that person have $2 million and that person has an award from a student group? Those are problems. And I think because of the way that departments and universities are often siloed, those important conversations don't take place, especially after the hiring process. And at best, and it's usually at worst, they happen after several faculty have left. And that's reactive rather than proactive.